Howdy, howdy, everybody. Hey, hi, everyone. It's me again. And I just wanted to share something. If you haven't noticed, this video's title, I think something along the lines of kindness and encouragement and, motivation. I would like everybody to just, being in the creative sphere for so long, and I noticed one thing. I noticed that we don't encourage each other much often, and so I would like to commend each one and everyone, each one of you. If you see somebody who is talented or they have a gift, you notice that they can paint, they can write, they can do poetry or anything like that. Just or any skill, anything that's sort of hard to somebody else but comes easily to them. Just I would encourage everyone to just champion each other and just get out there, and if you see a writing competition, say, hey, I found this, and I know you're a writer, I know you're a poet, go for this, I found this. Just don't be afraid. uh, just just elevate each other. That's just why I'm here today. Otherwise I really don't have much to say except motivation and encouragement is key. You never know what you build up in a person. For example, dear friend of mine, really really close friend of mine, he's from Hungary. A while back I sort of encouraged him to get into photography, because every time we'd go out to like places, he's always taking photographs, but he doesn't realize how good they were. I would point out things because I have a background in photography. I would say, look, you should have tried this angle, you should have tried this, you should have tried that. But anyway, he sort of like 2 years later figured out that he can actually do this and he actually wants to pursue it. He actually quit his job, and about a month ago quit his job in January, went on these trips around the world. He just got back from Cambodia, did Laos, did Nicaragua, so, and a bunch of other countries. He's been to like what, 31 countries, I think now. But before that, he wasn't taking photography seriously until I nudged him and I said, look, you can do this. You just need to just perfect your craft, and he got himself like a Nikon. Forgot what the model is now that he got himself a Nikon, got out there, he started taking his shots seriously, and voila, he yesterday he entered this entered his photographs on Nat Geo, so National Geographic. I'm not sure what the rest is, but Nat Geo is what we call it. They actually published today, and I'm so proud of him. So encouragement and motivation goes a long way, even though the person might not see it and they have like some self-doubt and all of that. I feel like that's one thing we lack in each other. We lack motivation, we lack steering each other into the right direction. If somebody came when I was younger and said, look, Zoe, you can write, let's just do this, do it this way. My dad is a published author, but he never, the only thing I remember was just tapping on his typewriter when I was younger, but he never actually honed my skills, being experienced as a writer himself. He never honed anything that I did when it comes to my craft. He never actually just sat down with me and said, look, you could try this way, try. I wish I had that. So if you know anybody who you think is talented in any area of any like artistic endeavors, just give it a nudge, give him a little nudge and say, search for competitions for them, search for ways in which you can help those people. I feel like we don't encourage each other and we don't motivate each other enough. Speaking from my own personal experience, I had to figure out things on my own, and then along the way I've had like destiny, I would call them destiny helpers, like assistants from the divine. People like Steve Lyman came around in my life and ushered me into what I should be. I'm not there yet, but I can see the progress. I can literally count the number of anthologies that I've been in and the competitions that I came in. And there was one competition I once came fifth. I wanted to kick myself for that. And until my friend said to me, listen, Ayanda, I don't know if you're listening, but Ayanda was like, if you're gonna write fifth place, pieces. You're never going to get first place prizes. So that stuck with me. So I always aim to just write pieces that are like number one, no matter whether it's a competition, no matter what it's just something that I'm just writing for my own self, for myself. So always aim for first place pieces no matter what you do. And I would say research people that are in the same industry that you're trying to tap into. I would say learn from the ones that came before. Like my favorite is Pablo Neruda, and yeah, I looked up to people like Sylvia Plath is one of my inspirations. Maya Angelou is one of my biggest inspirations as well. And so, and there's more like your Edgar Allan Poe, Poe's a legend. I look up to, but now like with people that are living, I look up to people like Martin Hoyle. I look up to people like Brandon Adam Haven. I look up to people that are probably not on this platform, that are actually writers, and people that are underdogs, your Ryan Barquist and all your Brian Lipkins. Those are people I can reach out to and say, hey, I want to write something, but I don't know, I'm a little rusty. Just swing a verse my way, and we can wing it together. And then pieces like that are like organically born from my rustiness, because I approached somebody else who wasn't rusty at the time, because we all go through these writing droughts, I call them. And people say they writer's block. I go through like what I would say a writer's drought, like a writing drought, and I would like find ways to maneuver around that, because I don't want it to stay in my, it's not allowed in my in my realm. It's not allowed. It's just simply not allowed. But I go through things like that, and the way that how I get over those is just I approach people and I write collabs with them. So I collaborate with people, and they have fresh ideas because they're not going through a writer's drought. And so it's kind of like a balance between my state of being and that person's state of being. So then in that way a piece can be born, and then I can shed off this rustiness that I'm going through. And those are just little tips. I don't know if they're going to be useful, but look out for writing comps, look out for things like that. Like even on Facebook, on these groups that we're in, there's always like, use writing prompts as well. And writing prompts are amazing, especially like with trees and nature and sunsets and whatnot. You can come up with the most amazing things even if you're in a writer's drought. But writing prompts are pretty much the thing I also go to get through my writer's drought. And the other thing that I was thinking of is that don't be shy to approach people. And the other thing I found works is that if somebody's writing a book and they don't have the means to pay for an editor, go to a friend of yours who writes. I've had people approach me with this sort of thing. I'm not perfect at what I do, but I know what I'm doing, and I know the direction in which I want it to go. So my advice would be find somebody who they're good at writing, and person that you follow their work, and approach them and say, hey, I don't have a budget for this, but this is my first book, or this is my second book, but I'm still not okay. I'm still financially stretched, and so I can't afford an editor. So you go to somebody like that, and you say, look, strike a deal with them. What I can do for you is this. Your name can be, I'll give you credit. Your name will be on the credits in the book. That way I don't have money to pay you, but I can pay you in credits. So that's one thing that can work. You credit them in the book and their name's on there. So I think I take a credit over money any day. Money is mandatory, right, in this life, because we have bills to pay, we have lights to, we have electricity bills and whatnot, and water bills and whatnot. That's just life. But I think for me, where I'm at in life, I'm okay with the little that I have, and so that kind of allows me now at this point where I am in life, to write for free, to contribute to anthologies that actually help fund foundations such as the Save the Foundation, Save the Children Foundation. And there's this one that I'm really working on. It's called the Open Minds Project. It's based in Southeast Asia. So that's my next project that I'm busy with now. But that one is just going to be, it's just got a lot of stuff that I need to handle with that, like traveling and all of that stuff that's involved. So don't mind to take pay and unpaid internships and things like that, because that's part of your portfolio. You just build a portfolio. You start by writing for free, and then everything else will fall into place after that, because you're building a portfolio. Like that's how I've been building up my writing portfolio up to this point. Um, from 4 years ago up to now, I wasn't doing so great. But then once I got onto Facebook, I started, getting connected with like-minded individuals, and I started getting invited to anthologies and things like that. And I started to, enter writing competitions, and I started being invited by friends of mine to assist with their books and edit and this and that. And so that's how I built up my writing portfolio. It's not where I wanted to be, but man, when I look back, I'm like, wow, it's quite a lot. I've achieved quite a lot. So I still have a long way to go, and I believe if one tried to do things that way, it might help speed up their process into getting to where they want to go. And I know this is advice that you didn't ask for, but I'm giving it to you anyway, so you're going to take it there. And my point is, we do not encourage each other as much as we should. And I believe, I'm a firm believer in uplifting other people and highlighting these skills. And just, that's just who I am. That's just part of what I do. And I don't want to ever be selfish with my knowledge. The little that I have, I want to give it out to people so they can do what I do, what I did, and what others that maybe haven't told you, they probably have gone this route and built up their writing portfolios, or portfolios of any artistic endeavors, your photography portfolio, your art portfolio, anything like that. So that would be my take on things. And I just want people to I just want all of you to encourage each other and hone each other. I'm lucky. I'm very, very. I'm super blessed to have people like Brian Lipkins in my life, because I write with him, and it'll be like this. I literally just text him and say, "Look, I'm going through this. Can we just write about it?" He'll be like, "Yeah. Do you want to start?" And I'm like, "No. Can you start?" And then we'll build it up from there. So find somebody, like a writing partner is something that's I'm thirsty. I just remembered that I didn't get myself some water close by. But anyway, this is not going to be a long video. It's a short video. It's going to be my first ever short video. It's always like 30 minutes plus, or an hour or so. So this one, there's no poetry here. There's nothing else but just words of encouragement, which I felt in my spirit that I needed to convey this message that, talk to each other, and don't be ashamed of your work. If you feel it's not good enough, you approach someone and say, "Hey, Zoe, I'm not feeling too good about this piece. Something just isn't working." I get people like that on WhatsApp as well, people that I write with in other endeavors. They'll be like, "Hey, have a look at this. I know it's good, but just I know you're going to tell me something." And I'll be like, "Everything's good, but you got to change this there." You need people like that in your life. Otherwise, yeah, just stick to what you know, write about what you know. And it's okay to also explore, but I would say write about what you know, but do explore. Do get writing prompts, because inspiration gets sparked like that by finding like a writing prompt, and then wow, you find something different. Explore different kind of styles, but mainly stick to what you know, because what you know you will write. It will give birth to the person that you really are building up to be. And some may disagree with what I'm saying, but so far it's worked for me. I'm a very despondent writer. I'm not depressed, but I tend to craft dark narratives, and so I found that it works for me. It absolutely works for me, and anyone that knows me, it always works for me. And I stuck with that kind of theme when it comes to my writing. But I can write like a love story, but in a despondent kind of way, and it still works. So that's what I'm trying to say. Just find your niche, find what you're good at, find find your core message, the one that you feel in your soul, and just work with it. And write what you do. You don't nurse. You don't nurse like a baby. You don't nurse your writer's block, your writer's drought. You don't nurse that. You write through it. You, like I said, like the technique that I use is this. I approach somebody else whom is my friend or whatever, or somebody. I also approach people that I've never written with, but I know that they are good. I know they could get something out of me. So I'll say to somebody I've never written with, I go, hey, I like your work. You know, you give them a compliment. I like your work. I've seen your work, I've read your work, and I've seen how you move around this, you know, this space, this writing creative space that we've found ourselves thanks to Facebook and other platforms as well. Do you mind if we write something together? And they'll probably say, oh, I've never collaborated with anyone before. And you'll be your first one, but that person will get you out of the writer's drought. So that's another way of, that's what I'm saying. Don't nurse your writer's drought, your writer's block. Write through it. Do something through it. Be creative through it. So that's my take today on writing and encouraging each other, and and just being kind to each other. And you know, the thing that I don't like the most is just people publicly what's the word, when somebody has written something, okay, they obviously, once they put out this piece, it's because they felt like it was done and they're proud of it, so they put it out there for readers like me to read, and and then you come there and you comment publicly and you say, oh, your piece is so bad, blah blah blah. You could have found better ways to criticize that person. Say you could have done it publicly but in a much more savory way, or you could have liked the post and then go privately and on inbox this person or DM this person and say, hey, I liked your piece, I like where you're going, but you could have done this, so like this. I'm not afraid to reach out to people and say, I wrote I'll send it to Martin, I'll send it to Brandon, or I'll send it to Ryan or Brian, or I'll send it to someone, I'll send it to Rafiq. I'll say, look, I'm not feeling too great about this. So I know it's good, but it's not exactly going to the direction that I wanted to go, precisely the way that I envisioned it. I feel like something is missing. Can you have a read at this, have a look at it? And they'll have a look at it and say, thanks for trusting me with this. That's always the response I get. Thanks for trusting me with this. They're actually happy that you reach out to them and you ask for advice. So that's what I'm saying to you. Ask for advice when you need it, and don't be shy about it. You're not idiotic for doing this. You're actually pretty smart for doing that, because you know that your work deserves to be the best. And so for it to become the best, you can ask people who are much better writers maybe than you, or much more experienced than you. And you know, sometimes you're not a first speaker of English, and so you tend to just, because you love writing in English, but it's not your first language, so obviously you're not going to be perfect at it as a first speaker. So you reach out to people. For example, I'm not even though my record is first language speaker because of the school that I went to, but I'm born and raised as a Xhosa from South Africa. So the first language I ever uttered was in my mother's breast was Xhosa. So I'm not going to be perfect at it. I'm good at it. I'm great at it because I'm schooled that way. But still, it's not my mother tongue. So I'm bound to mess up here and there. I'm not perfect at it. So for me, it's important that I seek for another opinion from the first speaker. So that's another way you can grow as a writer, or anything else that you are in this creative sphere. Happy writing, happy photographs, happy what's the other thing? Happy art, happy painting, happy creative endeavor, whatever it may be, happy editing. So that's just my 2 cents worth of advice that you didn't ask for, but there you go, got it. Thank you, bye.